Hey, look, bro. I know you salty and everything about the whole conversation that's going around with AI and all the conversations that we having with LeBron, or the conversations that having with Steph Curry. But stop sending your fucking mains over to my shit. Or if you ain't sending them, they just coming just to come fuck with me and play games and argue with me all over the motherfucking comment section because they mad because I talked about your boy. Then fuck them too. Cause at this point, I don't care. Like at this point, I don't care. Like they just get all emotional and shit, all butthurt, cause you know what I'm saying. They childhood heroes get talked about. It's okay. It's okay. But the one thing that you need to understand, and the one thing that I thought you knew, was that as the game evolved, as new players come into the league, the game evolve and dudes get better, they get quicker, they get faster. You know what I'm saying? They get stronger. They understand concepts on offense and defense and how to manipulate that and how to get to their spots and make baskets. Allen Iverson didn't have that. Now, it is true that he didn't have the best talent on the squad, but the only thing, if you really want to talk about the one Curry job that he actually did in 2001, with arguably less talent on his team in 2001, as opposed to 2002, as opposed to 2003, as opposed to 2004, as opposed to '07 and '08 when he had Melo. What did that say about Melo? If he couldn't get out of the first round with AI. What did that say about AI if he couldn't get out the first round with Melo? Two top five scorers in the NBA on the same squad with a bunch of defensive players around them, like like Marcus Camby and young dudes like J.R. Smith. You know what I'm saying? And Kenyon Martin that complimented their games well when they couldn't get out of the first round. Oh yeah, they played the Lakers and the Spurs, man. Fuck that. They got a game offer. They got a game offer Kobe and Shaq in 2001 when they was riding high. They was supposed to be undefeated the whole playoff run. Remember how everybody was saying, oh, wasn't nobody gonna be able to beat them, and then AI dropped that bomb on them, and then you know what I'm saying, he won that game one in Los Angeles. Why couldn't he beat Kobe? Why couldn't he beat Kobe one game in 2007? I mean 2008. Why couldn't he beat the Spurs in 2007? They weren't that damn good. I mean, they weren't that good for real. Like, come on. We want to talk about LeBron not being able to get a game off San Antonio. Talk about Allen Iverson. Talk about Carmelo Anthony. Talk about how they uh how they barely made it out of the first round. Allen Iverson made it out of the first round. What, a few times in his career? He made it out of the first round six times out of his career. That's his overall win percentage in the playoffs. Is six. He won six playoff series throughout his whole NBA career. Bruh, Carmelo Anthony, like I said in the last video, Carmelo Anthony only got out of the first round one time when he was in Denver. And then when he got to New York, he only got out of playoffs. He only got out of the first round, I think, twice. In 2011, and then I think in 20. No, was it 2011? Or was it 2012? I think it was 20. Yeah, it was 20. 2012 and then 2013. Made it out of the first round twice, only to get crushed by Indiana and Miami respectively. When he made it to the playoffs in New York. The niggas is coming in my comment section, you know what I'm saying? Obviously from your channel, you know what I'm saying, dudes that watch your videos, my nigga, coming in my comment section, talking all this shit, talking about some, oh, just because Steph Curry got 3 rings don't mean he better than AI. What the fuck does that mean? First of all, first of all, talking about just because he got rings off LeBron, it don't mean nothing. First of all, not only do dude got 3 rings, he got two regular season MVPs and one unanimous. I obviously don't got no unanimous MVP. Neither does Shaq, neither does Giannis, neither does LeBron. None of them. Kobe, none of them. None of them. He only won. And he won it by a long shot. He won it by a wide margin. I mean, 50, 40, 90 splits, averaging 30 points a game. Best regular season ever at 73-9. Made the finals that year. Put up monster numbers in a do or die game. Game 7 at home when they was about to, you know what I'm saying, when they came back on OKC. They lost the final, but that's fine. Came back the next year. Not only was he part of the best regular season ever, he was part of the greatest playoff team ever. That might arguably be the greatest team of all time when you look at not only how they played, the talent that they had, um, the wins that they put up. You know what I'm saying? Playing in the playoffs, all the dominance that they showed in the playoffs. That might arguably be the best team of all time. And Steph was on that team. AI never had a team like that. But when he did get to the playoffs, a lot of times, bro, he wouldn't show up. A lot of times he wouldn't show up. Same thing with Carmelo. I said that shit in the last video. Same thing with Carmelo. A lot of times he'd go to the playoffs, he wouldn't show up. Yeah, you can average a lot of points, but what is averaging a lot of points? Bro, Kobe said this about James Harden. Kobe said this about James Harden. He said, you can average 35. You can average how many ever points you want. But see, this is my problem. This is why I call this nigga the Black Skip Bayless. Cause he'll only talk about numbers and he'll talk about stats when it matters and when you want to suit an argument. When you want to fit a narrative that don't fucking fit. James Harden could average 35 and lose in the playoffs and niggas would kill him and be like, oh, well, he da 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 da. But when Michael Jordan do it, oh, he the greatest of all time, he better than LeBron, he this, and that. Allen Iverson can average 28 points a game and shoot 40%, you know what I'm saying, and make it to the finals in 2001. I don't remember what he averaged. I'm just using that as an example. But he could do that and make a final in 2001 and lose. And not only lose, but got outplayed by the other team's best player on their squad. We're not even talking about Kobe because Kobe was the number 2. We're not even talking about Kobe. We talking about Shaq. Get outplayed by Shaq in his individual matchup as the opposing team's best star. Got outplayed by him and lost in 5 games. But everybody want to talk about that game one. We stepped over Tyronn Lue. He did it. Y'all do realize the Lakers almost came back in that game, right? And they sent the game into overtime, right? You do realize that, right? You do realize Philly blew a lead, you know what I'm saying, when they, you know what I'm saying, when they was about to close it out in the fourth quarter, right? You do realize that, right? Yeah, but everybody want to talk about that game one. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, the result matter. At the end of the day, the result matter. That's all that matters. But niggas will ignore the result. Niggas will ignore the result in 01 and say, oh, he ain't had no help. But when you look at 2016 and everybody talking about Steph Curry and blowing that 3-1 lead, people forget, like I said, what happened in the Western Conference Finals when he actually did show up and put OKC out their misery and made Kevin Durant come to Oakland the next year and say, nah, fuck Russell Westbrook and fuck them dudes in Oklahoma City. I'm going to go play with them. I'm going to go play with Steph and them. Not only that, but if you look in the finals, people forget the fact that Steph was dealing with an injury all throughout the playoffs. Ever since the Houston series, when he tweaked his knees, it was something that happened like an ankle sprain or a knee sprain or something like that. It was something crazy. But he was dealing with an injury all throughout the playoffs. They was going to sit him. They was resting him for most of that series against Portland. Then they brought him back. OKC played the whole series. Cleveland, when they went up 3-1, they was gonna rest him to game five. They was gonna rest him to game five, thinking that oh, this was gonna be. But you know, they played him and they played him the last three games. They lost. People forget that he was nursing an injury that year, going into all them series. People forget that Andre Iguodala messed his back up. He had a back injury. You know what I'm saying? He didn't have the same explosiveness, you know what I'm saying, the same jumping ability that he used to dunk the basketball. Like when he went up for that layup and LeBron blocked it, Andre Iguodala would have dunked that basketball had his back been hooked. People forget that Andrew Bogut broke his leg and they ain't had no rim protection, and LeBron was running wild, you know what I'm saying, dunking on people and flying through the air, and Kyrie Irving was getting inside and, you know what I'm saying, making everybody look stupid that was guarding him. People forget that Harrison Barnes, who was a free agent going into that summer, going into the summer after those finals, was supposed to get at least 90-something million dollars a year. They was going to re-sign him. Had they won that series, Kevin Durant probably wouldn't have went to Golden State. They probably re-signed Harrison Barnes because they say, you know what? Not only are we going to do that's semi-reliable, that can hit the three, he can play a little defense, he can drive inside, and you know what I'm saying? The only thing he really can't do is create his own shot, which is fine. They was probably gonna pay that dude. People forget game 6 or 7 dude went cold. Game 6 or 7 dude went cold. He couldn't hit shit. He couldn't hit nothing. People forget that. They forget that part. You know what I'm saying? But niggas want to make excuses for Allen Iverson like, oh, woe is me. Like, he not already in the Hall of Fame already. Like, his career not over already. Like, niggas can change just because, oh, they make excuses for Allen Iverson and what happened in his career that shit gonna change. It's done. It's done. It's done. The same thing with Jordan. It's done. Heard some dumbass earlier online talking about some talk. He said something stupid. What he say? Oh yeah, he said, I don't even know why LeBron keep trying. It's already a foregone conclusion Jordan the GOAT. It's nothing else that he can do. Well, why the fuck is he still playing? If it was nothing else he could do, why is the dude still playing in year 17? Oh, what he trying to get Kareem's scoring record? Oh, okay, cool. And A lot of people's eyes, they ain't gonna make him the GOAT. They still ain't gonna make him the GOAT. They're still not gonna make him the GOAT. But even if he was playing, but even if he was playing just for the scoring record, so what? That's an accomplishment. That's something Jordan couldn't do. That's something Karl Malone couldn't do. Probably could have did that. He stayed in Utah, but he wanted to win the championship, so he went to the Lakers and sacrificed his numbers and sacrificed his production. But ain't nobody reached them heights. Not Kobe, not Mike, not Karl Malone, Kareem. He was the only one that did it. If LeBron's still playing just so he can get the scoring record from Kareem, so be it. He already got a championship with the Lakers. I mean, he pretty much quiet as his kept. He already a Laker great. Once you win a championship in Los Angeles, you already a great Laker. Jerry West won one championship when he was with the Lakers. He the logo. Everybody respect Jerry West, and he a Hall of Fame executive. They love Jerry West out here. They love Jerry West in NBA circle. He already a all time Laker. So was Elgin Baylor. He didn't even win a ring for real. For real. Probably could have if he stayed. They talk about Wilt, and they was like, okay. They talk about Wilt time in Philadelphia a little bit, but they talk about him as a Laker too, because he won one, because he won the championship with the Lakers. Same thing with Kareem. They don't even talk about him as a Milwaukee Buck. It's rare you hear people talk about him as a Milwaukee Buck. He get talked about as a Laker. He get talked about as a Laker. Shaq, same thing. All the teams he bounced around to and played with, and people bring up him and Penny and all that, yeah, but him and Kobe was the one that won rings. They talk about him and Kobe because he won championships with the Lakers. It's gonna be the same thing with LeBron and AD. It's gonna be the same thing with AD and whoever the hell he played with when LeBron died, when he retired. It's gonna be the same thing because they won. They won in that uniform. It's over. It's done. It's nothing you can do to change it. Ain't no amount of anger or no amount of, vitriol that you can spew out there towards this man that'll change the fact that he a 4-time champion. That he a 4-time MVP. That he going for that scoring record and probably gonna break it. That he in the GOAT conversation. Me personally, I don't give a fuck about the GOAT conversation for real. Cause to me, the ring argument and all the other little bullshit they use to measure that shit don't matter to me. It's all about skill and individual players and matching their talents and everything like that. I don't really care about the GOAT argument. But if we're gonna have a conversation, you gotta accept that the dude is in there. And you and your little minions and all the little followers and all the little faggy niggas that be on your channel, you know what I'm saying, agreeing with you and sucking you off, you know what I'm saying, because they don't want to get blocked from your channel because you get emotional and shit. You know what I'm saying? Start yelling at niggas because they don't agree with you. You know what I'm saying? Y'all just gotta accept that shit. Sorry, nothing I can do to help you. You just gotta accept that. I mean, hey, I can't take the nigga rings away from him. I can't take his MVPs. I can't take his scoring numbers. I can't take his playoff resume from him. I can't do none of that. Kobe can't add to his. Mike can't add to his. Duncan can't add to his. Iverson definitely can't add to his. So, in terms of LeBron, leave that dude alone. In terms of Steph, leave that dude alone. It's already a proven fact that Steph better than AI. I mean, all you really gotta do is just look at the numbers. Not even the all-time numbers. Just look at the efficiency numbers, and it'll tell you everything that you need to know. But you got mad because niggas was talking about Allen Iverson was overrated. The fuck out of here, nigga. And stop sending your people over here to fuck with me in my comment section. Niggas out here want to be the black Skip Bayless so fucking bad. Niggas want to be Stephen A. Smith 2.0 so fucking bad. Yelling and screaming at niggas because they don't agree with you and shit. All the shit you talk about Stephen A. nigga and you done turned into him. Ain't that a bitch?